channel that is designed and created by Amanda Moss, and we have free painting tutorials and all types of various different art, from visual arts, culinary arts, the art of Mother Nature, you name it. It's a channel that has all the arts on one channel. So everyone, stay tuned. We have a wonderful show today. And if you like this channel, be sure and hit that like button and ring that bell so you'll be sent those notifications and you don't miss a thing. Hello everyone and welcome back. On today's show we are here in the kitchen at the AMAC, quite different from being in the studio. And on today's show we are going to be making my famous chicken and dressing. For the first time in over a little 20 years now, I will be giving away all of my secret ingredients, even that last secret ingredient I add at the very end when I prepare my chicken and dressing. And first off, I do want to tell you, it is just your basic cornbread. You start out with that. And I use an iron skillet and buttermilk. So I will do actually a show later on showing you the recipe and how to make that perfect cornbread that will not stick. I make perfect cornbread nearly every time. So a lot of my subscribers, some of you have had my dressing and you absolutely know how delish it is. And each year it just gets bigger and bigger. And it's different from the normal dressing, but yet once you have it, you will remember it. And you're all going to know how to cook it after today's show. So to begin with, everyone, I already have the cornbread crumbled up, and you can see the little cornbread crumbles there, and that's going to need to be more finely mixed up. And I have the Nature's Own non-GMO bread, and you just sort of pinch it off here and tear it up in small pieces. And this is really a great thing to do with your kids and get them involved while out for school. And you want to really make sure that's all mixed well. And if you have a large family and you're going to be feeding a lot, I do not have a large family, and this is the non-GMO crackers as well. If you are feeding a large family, go ahead and use you a whole stack of crackers. And just, instead of your normal 2 cups of cornmeal for your cornbread, go ahead and do a little over 3 cups and add your extra liquids and egg. So once you get these crumbled up, you want to put those in there and just mix all of your bread up. And again, the kids, this is something they can get involved with, smashing the crackers up and tearing up the bread and helping mom and out around the house and the kitchen around Thanksgiving. So we get our bread. This is our base. And we do all of our dry ingredients. And of course our sage. This is the Simply Organic here. Black pepper. And years ago, I would sprinkle a little Measure's Dash. And on the sage and these seasonings, you will just have to taste it after you get your dry and wet ingredients and chicken mixed in, or you can do turkey with this as well. But years ago, as I was telling you, I would sprinkle a little Measure's Dash. So this Simply Organic seasoning is similar to the Measure's Dash, only it doesn't have the citrus, the lemon zest and orange peel like Measure's Dash. So I found adding these two together really does give it sort of that Measure's Dash. And again, I don't use much of this because the main thing is the sage in the dressing. And this is absolutely good if you do not do sage in your dressing. You can, originally this recipe started out over 20 years ago, sage free. But this is some amazing stuff here, this seasoning. Guys, if you have not tried this out, it is citrus herb seasoning. It's kosher and it's USDA organic. And you can get this at Whole Foods. And it's got an owl on the front. I will later tell you that name. I don't have my glasses on right now. So remember, okay, now that we have all of our dry base here, of bread, next we are going to be doing the seasonings, and I will be showing you all about how much I add to a bowl this size. Now this is just a bowl for maybe a family of 4, but I mix in the big restaurant size bowl, which you will all see just momentarily. Okay everyone, now we have the restaurant bowl out. I've been using this to prepare my chicken and dressing for over 20-something years now. And when I do make this dressing, I have to usually fill it up to here. And because so many people want a pan of my dressing every year, everyone. So you always do your dry ingredients first. And on the bread, I want to tell you all for 2 to 4 servings, you can get away with doing 3 pieces of bread, which is what I have done here. So, the black pepper, of course, and on your seasonings, everyone, you just have to keep tasting it. And here is that citrus I told you all about. And I don't measure anything on this dressing. I eyeball it. I do less because I'm going to be going back and adding more. Okay, here's the all-purpose seasoning. And I'm not going to be using much of this because I don't want it to overpower the sage. I know that seems like a lot, but once we get everything all mixed in there, you will absolutely see. And forgot to tell you all, of course, the kosher salt. I use the ancient fine sea salt. And go easy on this salt, everyone, because I'll tell you why in just a moment, why you don't want to start out with much. Just do enough for now to sort of bring all of these seasonings together. Okay, I'm going to give this a good stir right here. Okay, next we're going to be doing our wet. Okay, if you're doing a larger size like up to here for a whole family of 12 to 20, this will even feed up to 30 people, everyone. You would add about this much. So I'm just going to be doing this amount of celery for now, and perhaps just a little more. So we really love the celery around here. This is the garlic. Now this is about, I want to say maybe 5-6 cloves. But I know that sounds weird, putting garlic in your dressing, but once you have it, it does not overpower it. I'm going to go ahead with all of those onions. Okay, give this a little toss here. Okay, on our liquids. Next, you can go with, this is the 365 organic cream of mushroom. And you'll know if your dressing is too dry. And here is another organic brand by Health Valley cream of mushroom. And sometimes I can just get away with doing the cream of chicken, and you can do the chicken bone broth. And I will show you in a minute after we get the chicken in. I will add usually half buttermilk and a little of this, and you can sort of see, you don't want it soupy wet, but you want it moist. So I'm gonna get the can open and get all that in there and show you what's next, guys. Okay, so I have those liquids in now. I've got the buttermilk in and the cream of chicken and just a little of the cream of mushroom. So I want to add just a little more of this because it's not moist enough. This is the bone broth, and you can use chicken stock as well, everyone. Okay, that is moist enough that we are not going to have a dry dressing now. So that's why I told you go easy on that sodium. So next we have our chicken here. And you just, this is the non-GMO boneless Skinner chicken breast. So this will be broke up. Okay, everyone, I have all of my ingredients mixed together, and as I sampled the mixture, I seen that I didn't have enough sage or black pepper, so I did add more, and I have found over the years that the buttermilk does give it the right amount of creaminess. So you really can't omit that cream of chicken unless you just really like the bold chicken flavor. Now, last but not least, my secret ingredient to my dressing is that when I carry it to get-togethers and Christmas dinners and parties, I reserve my my turkey broth. And my turkey broth is what sets the dressing off totally. So also, I didn't do it with this, but those of you who have had my dressing know that I do put a couple boiled eggs. I just chop up the outer part of the white of the boiled egg and just crumble up that yellow since it's cooked. and it does add a really nice consistency. But so you can do it that way. And I do love doing the turkey and dressing, but I find that around here the turkey will stretch out much further if there's some chicken and dressing, and chicken with dressing does give it that really bold and richness that it does need. But the turkey broth is what sets my dressing off, and I really just usually do that around the holidays. But any other time of the year that I make my chicken and dressing, it is traditionally just the chicken stock or broth or bone broth and buttermilk. And I always add this in the buttermilk before I cook it. And use an iron skillet, and right before I put it in the oven, I just have to top it off with just a little sage. So that first bite that you bite into, you just get sort of a good punch of sage, and it's not too much. So everyone, gonna pop this iron skillet in the oven and show you how it turns out. And we want to cook this on about 350. And remember, if you're cooking it in an iron skillet, it's gonna need to cook longer. And since I do have a good amount of liquid, I'm gonna cook this with the lid off and check on it here in a little bit. Remember, basically, you're just warming this up because everything is basically already cooked. But we do want to soften those veggies, the garlic, and the celery and onion. Okay, everyone, I just got the iron skillet out of the oven. The dressing could have went longer, but I will be heating this back up tomorrow and probably the next day after. So and you can add buttermilk again when you go back and reheat it up in the oven if you think it's going to be dry just a little bit. So everyone, that's how I make my famous chicken and dressing. And so now you all have the recipe as well. And we are going to have many more cooking shows for this month in November. And it's going to be a lot of dishes that are basically dishes you have around Thanksgiving and the holidays. And we're going to be doing this on into December as well, everyone. So, as always, and until we all meet again, may God bless you and God keep you.